everybody. It's Becky Pearson with Pivot Point, and today I am honored to introduce the one and only Destri Millsap, who is going to be joining me for co-hosting Pivot Point of View, and super excited about this. I'm going to let Destri kind of share his backstory and give everybody an idea of who he is, where he came from, and I'm really excited about this joint venture. Destri is a pretty cool cat, so I'm gonna let you take it away, Destri. You tell him who you are, where you been, what's your profession, and all that.
All right. Well, thank you, Becky. I'm very excited as well. First podcast, so hopefully I don't screw it up too bad. Um, so I grew up in Broken Bow, Nebraska, and and it's a great place to grow up. The people over there are great. My whole family's from there. I grew up ranching, rodeoing, just just living the dream up there. And that lifestyle has took me where I'm at today. I mean, the values that I've learned, the work ethic, everything else has brought me to where I am today. And so um, we grew up raising horses and cattle and doing that whole deal. And so it's just in our blood. And it's something that you just can't get out of you. And so when I uh, left high school and was looking at what I wanted to do for a career. Originally, I wanted to be a PT. And so I get to college and take a sports medicine class, and the athletic trainer comes up to me and he goes, "Hey, I want you to come work for me and help with the sports teams and stuff like that. So what do you do? What's your credentials?" And he goes, "Well, I'm an athletic trainer." And I'd never heard of that profession ever in my life until I got to college. And so I ended up college rodeoing there at Northwestern Oklahoma State for 4 years and working for the athletic trainer. And went to grad school and at the University of Central Oklahoma. And really, when I was at Alva after my fourth year, I'd missed some prerequisites to go to PT school, and I'm just kind of at a crossroads of what I was going to do next. And so I went home for a while and thought about it and looked at programs, and I saw the athletic training program at UCO. And so I applied there. And I mean, anytime I applied somewhere, I didn't overly expect that I would hear back or my resume would be good enough or grades or anything else. And so I get a call back from there and from Jeff McKibben, who's come to find out like one of the godfathers of Oklahoma athletic training in general. I mean, just an incredible man and incredible guy to learn from him. Mr. Sunderland did so much for me while I was there. And so I go down and interview and everything and get into the program and grad school. The thought of it was just intimidating, really. I mean, um, come from a small place and again, my grades were good, but they weren't like 4.0 type grades. And some of the professors in college, I mean, their level of knowledge is so much higher than any of us. And so when they talk about stuff, I'm like, man, I don't know if I can get to that level. Well, when you go to grad school, they want you to succeed really bad, and they'll do anything to help you succeed. And you got to put a lot of work in, but it's it's just different. It's just a different feel than undergrad. And when you're learning a special profession that you're passionate about and things like that, it comes a lot easier. And so going through grad school is just an amazing experience, and they give us lots of opportunities to work for different big high schools, college. I got to do an internship with the Thunder. And so, I mean, it was just an incredible experience going through that process. Through that process, I've been dating my now wife, Jordan. And the whole goal through the whole process was graduate, get my degree, get to be with my fiance at the time, and rodeo and work sports medicine and just live the dream doing that stuff. And so there wasn't really any jobs in Oklahoma. We both wanted to live in Oklahoma, but at that time there really wasn't any jobs. And so um, I'd started applying other places and ended up landing a job in North Platte at Great Plains Health. And that was just a great starting point for me. I had great mentorship and great staff that I worked with. The administration at the school and coaches were all really good to me and really just set me up for where I'm at today and where I went next. So after North Platte, we were there for 3 years, and Tyler Oaklander comes in and starts the rodeo program and works really hard on that. And so we start covering high school, college, and professional rodeo, and man, I'm just in my element, doing that stuff. It's just that's who I am. You show up and you take care of people like you, and you understand where they come from, and it was just a really cool time. So, but at the end of the day, the whole time in the back of my mind was, man, I really want to be in Oklahoma, and I just kept thinking about it. My wife wanted to be there too, and so all of a sudden, a job pops up and in Owasso, which is one of the places that I looked at uh, going through school and stuff. And so I applied for this job, and it gets kind of crazy from there because I applied for the job. Well, then I hurt my knee pretty bad and end up having ACL surgery and get a call back, and they're wanting to interview me, and I'm like, oh my God, you've got to be kidding. So I talked to him and I'm like, man, I'm going through a lot of stuff right now. I just had ACL surgery. I don't know if I can make it work right now. And they said, okay, that's fine. So a couple weeks go by and my recovery's going good, and my wife and I are talking. She goes, well, just call them and have a conversation and see what they say. I mean, this is a temporary deal, and we'll make it work. So I give I gave them a call back there at Tulsa Bone and Joint, and I said, "Man, have you guys filled that position yet?" And they said, "No, no, we haven't." I was like, "Well, here's what I got going on. I'm not going to be much good to you till about September, but I'd like to come down and have a conversation and just see where it takes us from there." So my wife hauls me down there. I sit in the back seat, my leg up all the way down there, and got my suit on the next day and walked myself in there as best I could, and trying to hide that I'm crippled, and walk in there. Interview goes great. Have a great vibe from the athletic director, Zach Duffield, and CJ Daly was the C the well, he was the supervisor at the time at Tulsa Bone and Joint, and it just seemed like it was meant to be. And so I go home and they call me back and offer me the job, and man, we've been here ever since. It's been a really cool experience. I've got to work with a lot of great athletes and coaches that have helped me take my game to the next level, and so it's just been a really cool deal for me down here.
And I think that's what excites me the most, Destry, is that I come from a background of let's get people out of pain and get them back to doing, their regular lives. And what I'm excited about is for you to come into the picture and help take people to the next level. And because your background, although we have some similarities, we have a lot of differences as well. So which I think can be very complementary. So super excited about that. I did want to ask, so tell me did we work together when between undergrad and grad school, or was it between grad school and your North Platte job? Because I can't remember the time frame there.
Yeah, it was when I was in between undergrad and grad school. I'd come back during that time and just really didn't know what I was going to do, to be
Yeah.
honest. I was
Well,
either
in
going to
your
be a cowboy or athletic trainer or physical therapist. I mean, there's a lot of ways it was going to go. So,
your work ethic showed through, and it was I don't think you were with us very long at Pearson PT, but we appreciated while you were there. Hard worker, you were always willing to jump in and do whatever it took, and I think that shows through with the stuff that you do, um, in your career. So I am super pumped. Destry, you reached out to me a couple weeks ago, and kind of tell me what you were thinking, I guess, and and
well,
see, yeah, let's
there's a
go
lot
from
of thoughts that go through this head on a daily basis. I'll tell you, it's quite a trip. So, the last few years, I've been looking for what's my next step. Where do I want to go in my career from here? And in 2020, when COVID was happening, that was a big time for everyone, and especially me, to just look at what I'm doing and really see what the next step is. And does what I'm doing right now make sense? Is it what I want to do for the rest of my life? And just kind of ask some of those questions. And so the thing that just kept popping in my head was Orson People Recovery Center, Orson People Recovery Center, one stop shop. Bring your horse, get it worked on, get yourself worked on, keep yourself and your horse healthy going down the road. And so that's just the thing that's been put in my heart and in my mind for a long time. And so then things just kind of started going from there. And I looked into some options where there was some club teams reach out to me and stuff. They were wanting coverage, and there was um, people needing worked on that just didn't really know who to go to and didn't really have anybody that they trusted or anything else or that they could relate to or that could relate to what they're doing. And I'm talking about people mostly in the Western industry that just they sometimes they either have their person and that's who they go to for everything, or they don't know who to go to, and some of the professionals don't really understand what they do, and that's a major turnoff for them. And so I just wanted to create something where I could help those people in one way or another, whether it was getting them to the right hands for if they needed a surgery or any other type of healthcare, and getting them to get somebody that was good and that I trusted and that they could trust too, or just helping them myself with my knowledge. And I take a lot of things from a lot of different disciplines, whether it be PT or chiropractic or just really anything that I can learn from someone else and implement into my own practice within the practice guidelines. I'm willing to do it to fix somebody and help them be their best. And because I know that, I mean, I went through a few surgeries myself, shoulder surgery, two knee surgeries. And when you're staring down the barrel of a 4 to 6 month recovery and not really knowing how it's going to go or how to get yourself back to that level, I mean, obviously, I have the knowledge that I could do that and had a network that could help me get there on the stuff that I couldn't do myself. But it's pretty intimidating and it's a big deal, and being in the right hands and getting the right help is very important to continuing your career and being able to do it at a high level. And everybody, I mean, they always say with rodeo, it ain't how bad, or it ain't if you get hurt, it's when and how bad. And so at some point, you're going to have to deal with an injury in this sport.
yeah, and even just just to be able to not only get out of pain or recover from an injury, but just the things that I've been approached with here lately is, I'm a barrel racer, and old barrel racers, we never die. We just keep going. and I have so many women that they're very passionate about continuing to ride. They're on Medicare. They want to be able to ride. They want to be able to ride their horses well. They've had, they may have been, WPRA level in their younger years. Maybe they're not anymore, but they do it because they love to do it. And there are very few people in the healthcare system that understand why a woman over 65 years old would want to continue to run barrels. And so they come to me at an event, like this weekend. I had 2 or 3 of them come up to me and say, hey, I need to schedule a time with you because I know that, I'm either getting left behind on my horse, or I'm, they want to be able to continue to do the things that they love. And very few healthcare professionals really do understand why it is so important to us to continue to do that. So I think you're just spot on with, us being able to relate to the independent Western industry kind of people that we don't do it for the money. We don't do it for fame. I don't know, maybe some people do. But, we do it because we love the lifestyle. We love the animals. We do it because we want to continue to push ourselves and compete. And they have to be able to turn to somebody that they can trust and understands what they're going through. So yeah, I think you're spot on with that for sure.
I agree. And you talk about older people continuing to ride and stuff, and my Papa Vern, I mean, he's in his 80s, and I guarantee you that man, he's gonna ride a horse till, I mean, he's absolutely in the ground. And he still goes and helps my sister with her cows, and he's just somebody that I really hope that I can be at that level when I'm his age. I mean, he's been a major influence in my life, and a major role model. So the things that he's taught me, and his work ethic and his kindness and stuff, just really drives me to push myself to get better in my profession as well. But I mean, seeing someone like him get to continue to do what he loves at his age is just a true blessing. And so, and when you rodeo, man, and it's in your blood, you just can't stop. I mean, you just can't. And for someone to tell you that, oh, you're always going to be in pain, or you're always going to have this disability, or always this or that, and that's just something that is no one wants to hear. And that's stuff that people get told all the time that sometimes isn't necessarily true. And I'm somebody that will exhaust every option for somebody to get better and get out of pain and be able to do what they love at the level that they want to do it. And it takes a lot of work and a lot of buy-in, and it's not an easy road sometimes. And there's some injuries that it doesn't take 1 or 2 treatments. It takes months and sometimes years of dedication to get back to that level. And especially with some of the types of injuries that you'll see in the Western industry that can be pretty bad. It ain't always an easy road back, but there is a road, and you can get there. Just gonna take a lot of work sometimes.
Yeah, 100%. And I remember talking to some of my friends, as I've had kids, and we go through, you get really wrapped up in what your kids are doing, and so a lot of times you as a parent, your stuff kind of hits the back burner. And I've had, other moms say, well, why do you continue to compete, and how do you do that? And and I've asked my kids, I said, do you guys wish that I didn't compete anymore, that I just focus more on you? And they're like, no, Mom, we're really glad that you continue to compete, because you get it. Like, you understand not every run's going to be perfect. And I tell my friends too, I said, the reason that I continue to compete is because it pushes me to go out and get on my horse when maybe I don't always feel like it. And I ride my horse because it mentally, it saves me mentally. I joked around, I said, I ride my horse so I don't kill people. Like, I'm a happier person when I can get on my horse. So you want me to be able to go ride my horse. And so when I set goals to go enter and go to certain races. No, they aren't as often as I'd like to, but it keeps me motivated. It gets me out of the house. It gets my butt up on that horse. And he challenges me because he's big and strong. And so, I have to be better to be able to ride him better.